Hey guys, welcome to linguamarina. Let's talk about intermediate plateau and why you stop learning English language. This video has been sponsored by italki. Now, let me show you a very important graph. This basically shows what's going on with your English language skill over time. So when you start learning English at the beginning, you're like, oh my God, there are so many exciting things. So here, you're like, I'm excited. And the progress is really trackable. You just learned the alphabet. You learned how to say, how are you? And you're like, okay, the progress is happening. Now, after that, you're like, okay, I've learned the basics, but I still don't speak English really. I try to watch movies, but I don't feel confident. I don't feel like I've made it in English. And here, you're kind of stuck. And this can continue for a long time. For some people, they even do this, like they start learning language, they lose some of the skills they've already acquired, and this is like the worst. Sometimes this happens because people double down on unnecessary things, like learning more grammar, taking more classes. You say, I want to give up. And here, you burn out, which is really bad. But then after you realize, or after you watch this video and you realize you need to change your strategy, great thing happens and you become advanced. So in this video, we're gonna focus on the strategies that are gonna lead you to this advanced level and that would help you overcome this intermediate plateau. If you're interested, continue watching carefully and write things down. I'm sure that by the end of this video, you will learn at least one new thing that would help you progress with your language. Let me give you some numbers. You need to know 3,000 English words in order to understand 95% of English texts. But in reality, native speakers use and understand around 20,000 words. So when you get to 3,000, it's enough and you're intermediate, but it takes a lot more effort to become advanced. And at this stage, motivation is not that strong because when you're just starting to learn a language, you learn 10 words and you're like, wow, I've just learned 10 words from 0 to 10, amazing. But when you already know 3,000 words, learning additional 10 seems like, not a big progress. But again, everything here has to do with motivation, setting the right goals, and taking the right action. Let's talk about this. The first method that's super helpful is called active learning. Now, what happens when you're intermediate? You're like, oh, I can start watching YouTube videos about investing in crypto. Or, yeah, I can start taking classes at a foreign university online. Or you start reading a book and you're like, you understand kind of what's going on. But when somebody, and like, this is the best test. Try explaining someone what you just heard. If you're able to do that, even in your language, that means you actually understood. Because sometimes it happens to me, especially, like I'm not a native speaker, but sometimes I have to talk to lawyers because I go through different deals. And I talk to lawyers and it seems like they use the vocabulary that I understand. But when I try to explain to my husband what just happened, I feel stuck. And this happens because I don't really understand and I have to go one level down. And again, when it comes to lawyers in real life, you can't really go one level down, but you are in a unique position when you're just learning a language, so you can go one level down. So I want you to start consuming content on a level where you can take notes and summarize whatever you just heard in a small text or in a small, I use Notion all the time for whatever I'm learning. So you can write a small notion about what you just heard. So you're able to explain what you actually learned. Not just be like, oh, I just read this book, didn't really get it, whatever, but it sounds smart. No, we don't do that. We want to be on a level that is challenging, but at the same time, we want to make sure we understand what's going on. And this is what I would love you to start practicing right away. When it comes to learning a language, the best thing you can do for your language is to take one-on-one classes, just because you're getting personalized feedback and because you're practicing in real time and your brain is training everything Speaking, listening, understanding information, building sentences, putting your thoughts into language. If you don't know how to find a teacher for your class, I would recommend italki. It's a global language learning community that connects students and teachers for affordable and flexible one-on-one language lessons. There are more than 8,000 English teachers, and some of them are certified professional teachers who can help you prepare for language exams. And they also have community teachers who might be native speakers or who might speak English as a second language, but they would be the ones to coach you through your English journey. And not only English, by the way, you can learn more than 150 languages and become fluent using italki. With italki, there are no schedules, there is no commitment to pay a subscription fee. You pay whenever you want to talk to someone. You pay whenever you want to learn. They also have their own language community where you can meet and share experiences with students from over 190 countries. You can find a language partner to practice English for free or ask a question and receive feedback from professional teachers and native speakers. You can learn the language the way it works for you, anytime, from anywhere. Please don't hesitate to register using a link down in the description box below. italki offers discounts from time to time. The link is in the description box. Tip number 2, start using authentic content. When we're at this intermediate level, the majority of things you've read and heard before probably came from your textbook or like a handout that you got in your English class, which is kind of great, but it's curated by your teacher and it's probably curated by the authors of the book, so it is not authentic content. 2 downfalls here. First of all, because it's not authentic, it means that they're using artificial language. They don't use a lot of words that you would hear in everyday lives. Second, you wouldn't understand all the jokes like insider gigs, whatever, like everybody's talking about Squid Game right now. Your textbook was written a couple of years ago, so they didn't know about Squid Game, and you have to, just because it's the cultural thing, right? And when your teacher gives you a handout, they probably created it maybe again, a year ago, 2 years ago. So the content is not up to date, and because the world is changing all the time, I would recommend consuming content on your own. That means going to YouTube, watching videos by Mr. Beast, watching videos by, I don't know, whoever you like in your niche or in entertainment in general, but try to be up to date with whatever you consume and dive away from all the textbooks. They are great, but I want you to experience real life with your English. Okay, let's listen to a video I made 5 years ago. You have to note the topics that are common for TOEFL. For example, ancient caves in France. I don't know about you, but I hear this huge difference in my accent. And I'm so grateful I actually documented my journey. Because if you asked me 5 years ago, if I wasn't a YouTuber, I would never record myself speaking English. But now, it means a lot to just hear what I sounded like 5 years ago and be like, wow, that's amazing progress. Because tracking your progress week after week, yeah, but we like this huge difference. We like going from, speaking no language at all to being proficient. So try to record yourself or at least measure some progress. If I were you, I would just start recording videos for TikTok, for whatever. I just feel that everybody should find an outlet where you spread information about your passions. It could be a written blog, it could be TikTok, but this is also a way for you to measure how much you've progressed in learning English. Okay, next. You need to answer this question honestly. What if I say, in 5 minutes, you're going to interact with a native speaker and you have to choose one of 2 things. Would you write them a text or would you speak to them? Make a choice. Start typing the comment. I want to read your comments. So number 1, again, would you speak to a native speaker or would you write to a native speaker? Number 2, do you want a native speaker to record an audio message for you or do you want them to write an answer? Write this down. Okay, so whatever you've chosen, if you chose that you want to write to a native speaker and you want to receive a written reply from a native speaker, that means that this is something you're strong at. There's a big chance that you prefer stronger skill And what I want you to focus on is your weaker skill. So if you decided that you're going to write to a native speaker, then I want you to focus on speaking. And if you decided that you want to receive a written reply from a native speaker, I want you to focus on your listening, because this means that you subconsciously realize that you're not that good at speaking and listening. And always when you learn something, focus on your weak areas, because it's really easy to focus on whatever is going well. And that means you practice a skill which is already at a good level. And I want you to become better in general. Again, don't forget to mention in comments below, what types of communication would you prefer? It's just interesting to see the overall dynamic here. The next tip, try new methods. The thing is, our brain likes novelty. So whenever we encounter words that we've learned before, but in new context, we remember them better. I also want you to avoid this shiny object thing syndrome. That means that you found this YouTube channel on YouTube and you saved it. You bought this book to read later. You subscribe to Netflix to watch all the shows, but you don't really get to doing that. Or you have all of these tabs open on your Google Chrome, but you never go through them. I want to make sure that you actually start doing something. Like my recommendation here would be watch Emma Chamberlain's vlog and let me know what you think. I think she's amazing. I think her English is really easy to understand. She has her own style. She speaks American English. The pace of speech is really slow, and she talks about daily stuff. So it's really easy to consume, really easy to follow. Take a recipe in English and try to make something. So after this video, I want you to experiment with one new thing in English. Whether it's a new YouTuber that you watched, maybe it's a new recipe that you tried, whether that's a workout that you did while watching YouTube. There is this channel, Yoga with Adriene, and I do her yoga classes once a week, and they're all in English. And one more tip, redefine your goals. And this is like something, let's dig deeper in yourself. What is your end goal with the English language? And you might say, Marina, I want to be advanced. But why do you want to be advanced? What is there? And you might say, oh, Marina, but I want to go to a university in the USA. Why do you want to go there? Let's focus on the feelings that you want to experience. Let me give you an example that would justify whatever I'm doing right now. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be like Britney Spears. Then I realized, my voice is fine, but not like that of Britney Spears. And maybe I'm not the best performer in the world. But then I started digging deeper and I realized what I actually want to do. I want to be in front of people. I want to talk to people. I want audience. And I want to talk about something I'm passionate about. Hello, YouTube. I'm talking about a thing that I'm passionate about. So sometimes we're focused and we're obsessed with some goal that is just one of interpretations of what we really want. So I want it to be useful for other people. I want it to be useful for a lot of people. And I thought singing was the means to an end. But in reality, there are many, many things I could do. And I found another one because I wouldn't be so successful singing. Maybe I would have been successful, but I don't know. But anyways, so by asking yourself why all the time, it's like, do you want to go to American University? Why do you want to go to an American university? Oh, Marina, but I want to get a job. Why do you want to get a job? And in the end, maybe you're like, I just want to make enough money to buy a house for my parents. There is another goal then. Getting to an American university is a lot of hassle, but maybe right now you can take a course in English in something that you're passionate about and start working remotely for an American company and make enough money and buy a house for your parents, and it's going to happen faster. Reassess your goals. Maybe the end goal is to live by the ocean and work remotely, but you don't need to go to the US for that. Like, dig deeper. What is this feeling that you want to achieve? If you want a lot of money, why do you want this money? Whether it is to help your parents, whether it is to travel. Try to find the end goal and then reassess your goals with English. Thank you guys so much for watching this video up to the very end. I hope it was useful and I'm looking forward to reading your comments below this video. See you soon. Bye bye.